Okay, so the challenge is to redesign the Type 1 impact shell and reduce it in size by 1/4 so it'll fit in a 1.5 inch mortar. Okay, this is the request we are looking at. So dimensions 1.5 inches or 38.4 millimeters. So the internal diameter of the tube we're looking at is 38 millimeters. Okay. We're done with this. Now the program I use is Creality Print. Creality Print is actually a slicer program, so it's not intended to do this. But I found that it's actually very easy to work with if you know how to use it. Start off, let's look at the shell as it is now. What am I looking for? Yes, cross section. So, here we have the Type 1 impact shell, and I've prepared a cross section. This can be scaled down, this can be scaled down, everything below this point here can be scaled down, but this has to stay the same, and the striker column's got to be strong enough that it doesn't break when it hits the ground. Now, instead of creating this from scratch, instead of just redoing this, however, I think it's actually going to be easier to recreate most parts of this from scratch. I think I'm going to keep the threads, but everything else, yeah, everything else is going to go. Now, let me get this over here. I use this second plate as kind of a holding ground. Now we'll start with the existing parts. Better put on my PPE here. Collars aren't necessary. Going to work with the short body. Mark IV nose cone, rebuilt impact surface. Safety collar will have to be completely redesigned, so no need to bother with that. The striker column and the standard tail assembly. The Mark III tail assembly would work too, but well, I'll show you. That's a little different. I find that the standard tail assembly works better. And this is all our stuff. This is the standard tail assembly, and this is the Mark III. As you can see, the fins are angled, which causes the projectile to spin. I did this before I did any kind of aerodynamics testing, so I thought it would stabilize it. As it turned out, it didn't need it. Okay. So, just for the hell of it, and to get what we need from the fins, let's go ahead and resize this thing. We want it uniform. 38 millimeters, okay. 74.51%, in case I need to resize things. It's a little less, yeah, it's a little less than, no, a little more than 1/4. That's okay. Now, I can probably keep this, but everything down here, I don't know, it should be thick enough. Let's see what the width on this is. You know what? Never mind. Whole tail section is going to be redesigned. Go bye-bye. Okay. So I'll need that. But we're going to start from the bottom up, I think. Now, just let me get a measurement here. Okay, I've got 19.61 millimeters, so about 20 millimeters. Gonna read. Ah, that already is 20 millimeters. How fortuitous. Okay. I'm gonna keep it, and let's go with 2 by 2. Yeah, looks like a good solid size. So we want to make this 0. It's 2 millimeters, so we want to put it at negative, what's half of 38? 15, 19. Negative 18. Oh, that's their 0 axis, okay. No, actually, I just like working better like this. I want to make a clone that so I can get a copy of it. Actually, you know what? As long as this doesn't cause me any trouble. I keep wanting to import model files instead of importing test models. I want a cylinder here. Then we want 2 by 2. We can afford for it to be uniform. Except the y-axis needs to be 2 as well. We wanted a height of 20. Zero. Negative 18. 18, not 16. So actually 19. Why is it not 2? There we go. Okay, good. Okay, now we have a nice curved upper surface. Those are merged together. Stuff out of the way. Won't be needing you. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll cut up and use bits and pieces of existing models. However, I can also create things like this from scratch. You need to be 18, 0. So we're going to merge these two together. So these two are actually part of the same model. We're going to duplicate it. Now we don't have to use a 0, 0 as the base axis, but I like to because it's less typing. Now what I'm doing is I'm merging it and duplicating it, and every time I'm putting what I've duplicated back on 0, 0 and rotating it by half the distance. So the first time was 90 degrees, then I had 45 degrees, and I have a whole chart of these things so I don't have to keep this information in my head. But it's basically just rotating it by half the distance each time, and it squares the number of components each time. And eventually I'll end up with a complete circle. You'll see. Now there is a reason I am doing it like this. I don't really want to go into it. I'm just showing you what I do. Down to 11.25. Now it looks like we're done. We've got a complete ring. However, we are actually not done yet. We need to do it a few more times because of the way this program handles surfaces. This is not the ideal way to do it, but this is how I do it. Okay, that's going to be our new tail ring. We want for this another cuboid. 21, 2, and we want it to be, what's our distance? 38, so 36 should do it. And we need 3 of these. We might get by with just 2, but I like the 6-fin design. So this will be straight, this will be 120, and this will be 240. And there we already have our tail surface. However, there's something else we can do. Prisms are difficult to work with. I hate them. I mean, in this program. So what we need is going to be, how much do I want it to sit up? 2. So total width is going to be 4. Total width is, okay, going to be 36, so that's going to be 15, 18. see what I have to put up with. There we go. Except it needs to be 4. Dagnabbit. Height can be 2, but width has got to be 4. In spite of what it did to my camera, that's exactly what I need. Now we want to split it right down the middle. Let's take 2 off, so this will reduce the height to 19. That is not what we wanted to do. Now, I'm gonna say that should be 19. See if that's the right. Yes. Side doesn't have to be perfect because, well, I talk to myself. I'll let you know when something important's happening. You can see what I'm doing. There we go, that should be better. And that's our tail ring. Now, assuming we want to keep the dimensions more or less the same on the cylinder for this. Nah, we need bigger than that. I think 13 is what I used, and that looks good, yeah. Lose a lot of space there, but it needs to be sturdy enough to survive being launched, so some compromises have to be made. Now that's way taller than we need, but... So, next... Get this back here. We can go ahead and merge these. I'd hate to see what the overall size is. Creating these hollow cylinders in this way makes the files really large. Now, no, I don't want to import a model. I do need to make this a little stronger though. I need a cuboid. 2 cuboids actually. Although I suppose I could use, I could use a prism, I guess. Yeah, we can do that. We want, what do we want? I'm gonna say, it's not uniform, okay. We're gonna go with 6. Eighth, yes. Width is going to be 2. Once again, width is going to be 2. Now let's, where are we? Let's do 100, 100. Yeah, I think about that will do it. Okay, offset is 6.6. Let's see what happens if we even that up. Okay. negative 6.5, 0. Negative 6.5. There we go. Could make this a little fancier, but I'm already half an hour in. And there's a lot of work left to do. Half of 20, turn it by 60 degrees. $30 degrees. There we go. So, let's check something. I need a cylinder for this. Now, the original width for the body itself was 40. And that's actually what we have here. Let's reduce this by 25%. Well, I can do that math in my head. Take it down to 30. That's the width of her body. That's how wide their body segment will be, which is going to leave... it'll leave enough space for air to be able to pass through these veins, but not as much as I'd like. Maybe 28. That's not going to be appreciably smaller, but every little bit helps. Yeah, I can't really take it down any less than 30, I don't think. So 30 is going to be the diameter for the body. About that should be good. So let's go with, say, start with 20. And I'm just going to eyeball this. Actually, that kind of works. Okay. 18. And we want to take the Z down a little more, so 8. A little more, 16 by 16. That's the problem. This needs to be 16 too. Where'd you go? There you are. These probably stick out a little too far, but... we're almost done with her tail segment. Just get rid of some of this excess geometry here. Add a copy of it just in case I need it later. Okay. And air impact shell Type 2-1, or Type 2-1, Type 2A tail is ready. Now, one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy the existing threads Okay, I don't want these pieces of the fins. So let me get rid of those. Okay, so that's a little wider than it should be. What is the scale here? Why are you 40? You should be 30. Maybe that's why. Yep. Now, we're gonna need 2 body segments. That'll let me keep the threads, and as for this piece in the center, well, I have ways. Come on, split, split, split. Split for me. It's important that the piece doesn't move while I'm doing this. Excellent, excellent. Now what we're left with is 6 pieces of this. And we want to make the piece in the center go away, and it's gone. However, now we have to merge all these pieces back together. Excellent, and we have our upper threads. And we also have the factor we need to scale it down by. I wrote it down here, 74.51. Should do it. Of course, we don't need that piece yet. Now, unfortunately, this thing, I might not do the reinforcing bits. So, I'm going to show you how, or something else I can do if I want to take a shortcut. This is all the STL files I have. What I'm looking for is something I have in nuts and bolts. These are things that I cut up to use with other models. And in this case, I don't need an impeller, deer scarer. And I just need the tube. Put that down there and split it here. There we go, nice hollow tube. And we want to resize it so the diameter is 30. This will leave us with a thinner body tube, which is a good thing anyway. Width is good, so we're good there. How long do we want this to be? If we keep the body the same length, it's gonna make the projectile longer and thinner. More like one of the original length shells in terms of dimensions than the short shell. Looks like total body width is going to be about 73 millimeters. Okay, now 65. Okay, so we are going to make the total length here. That is the total length though, so it's going to include the screw on the bottom, or the threads, so this is all one piece now. Now we need to duplicate that. Except, from this point on, the design is going to take a different shape because we're going to redo the nose cone completely. $43 megabytes. Okay, it's a lot larger than I'd like, but a lot smaller than I was afraid of. I usually run them through Blender and decimate them to take the file sizes down, but the way I create these hollow cylinders, Decimate doesn't work very well. Now, I don't think I'm going to add any extra supports to the side. I'll add some fins along the side, and those will work as support structures. So that should be good. Now, next thing I have to do is I have to recreate this. And I'm going to need 2 circles for this. So I'm going to chop this up, just so I can get some rough measurements. I don't like the ruler tool in this because it doesn't do a good job at giving me the information I need, but measure there to there. How wide is that really? Okay, let's look at the primer. Total width of the primer is going to be, hold still you, 6 millimeters. So I want 6 by 7.3. There's a bit of math involved here. And this can be 4, want some strength there. And it can be 4.5. Okay. So, now I need to make the primer plates. To do that, I'm going to make, well, basically I'm going to do the same thing I did down here with the tail ring. Total width is going to be 30 millimeters. I'll do 29.5. 29.5 minus, we're doing the bottom, the 4.5 is going to be 25. 25 divided by half is going to be 22.5. So what I want is, just to be on the safe side though, we're going to take what we've already got. I'm going to move it down. You get on 0. I just like eyeballing things, but okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, good. Total width here is, I screwed my math up. Okay, let me go back and start that again. Okay, so 29.5 minus 4.5 is 25, and half of that, that would be half of 25 is 12.5, not 22.5. There we go. That's good enough. This has to be open for the hot gases to pass through, but it doesn't actually have to be perfect. Okay, negative 5.4. Good. Something is amiss here. And that's what it was. Rather than calculating this, I'm just going to go back and fiddly getting it right. Negative 8.50. 1, 2, 3. It only goes to 2 digits, so we'll go with that. Negative 8.53, which means you should be 8.53. And while we're not perfect, we are close enough for government work, as they say. We'll need you again. For this though, you know the drill. Same thing as before. There's nothing I hate more than a Jack Russell. Except Amazon. I hate Amazon more than Jack Russells, although it's hard to tell which one is more evil. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. Okay, next. It's a shame I can't just reduce this without reducing the size of the center. But so it goes. I got measurements for this, but let me see about how tall this is. 7. So, some more math. 30 minus 7. Well, we're doing 29.5, so is 22.5. Half of 20 is 11.25. 11.25. Yeah, let me go through my math again. 22.5 divided by 2 is 11.25. 29.5 minus 7. Except it's not 7, it's 6. We're dealing with the width here. 6.1. Okay. 23.4. 23.4 divided by 2. 11.7. That's better. Just to be on the safe side here. What are you? What's your height? Your height is 7. Okay, that's good. Oh, shoot. That's the wrong one. That's the one I need. We got the height right. Good, good. Okay. 8.96. We'll work with that. Okay, good. 1.5. Okay, excellent. Now, and it's 6, so 7.5. For the heck of it, gonna need 2 shapes. This is gonna be done by eye. Excellent, excellent. Now comes the interesting part. Okay, good. Good, this is exactly what I need. At this point, we get to start the technical stuff because I'm redesigning the nose cone, as I said. However, okay, so we'll go with 100. Okay, just a little smaller. Look at that boundary. There's still, okay, so needs to be smaller still. It can be a little smaller. Okay, it's close. Smaller. Yeah. 78.4. Okay, that's about the shape of it. Now for this last part, this will either go very quickly or it'll take forever. Got the tail, the body tube, and remember we're doing a combined nose cone and striker assembly. I can envision what I'm trying to do, but it's hard to translate what's in my head onto the program. But I'm fairly certain I've got it. That's a nice rounded nose cone, but let's, just for the heck of it, let's make it a little more rounded. There we go. Okay, good. That is the shape we want. Okay. Like the nose cone, it's got a nice tapered shape, but there's still enough surface area that it should go off if it hits anything. Okay, so that'll go on here. It's just a matter of how far up or down it goes. That's fine. Now the striker column, that's what we want to work on at this point. Okay, so now I've got two options here. I can make the nose cone a solid unit, but given the stress placed on the striker column, if I incorporate the striker column into the nose cone, that would probably mean that nothing could be salvaged and made into a new shell. So I wouldn't even be able to save the nose cone. Would make assembly easier though. I'm thinking though, so let's say, I can always redo the nose cone later, I guess. So this is now the striker column. This part's going to go, we're going to snip that off. So that will be the nose cone. That's the nose cone. What I'm going to be doing is okay, so how it's going to work is there going to be threads on the bottom here. They'll screw into here and then go down, which will leave it free to move up and down a little bit. if I'm going to do this, I'm going to want to shorten that. But it'll still need the threads from the original nose cone. Okay, so this was, what size was this again? That won't work. What size was this? Shoot, that's at 100%. I'll just, yeah. Ah, shoot. That'll give enough space there. Okay, so you always want to save it, just in case something gets screwed up. Okay, so now that this is saved, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to make a cross section of it so I can get everything lined up. Actually, yeah. I could have just sliced up that one. Whatever. Shoot. Okay, so let's position you like you're gonna have to be. Whatever. Okay, so that's about the position. And we want to lower this down. So about that's where we want it to be. Well, I mean, like that. Okay. So, let's chop this in two. Okay. Looks like we're done. Now there's a few improvements I would like to make. I would like to update the nose cones so that the striker assembly, well, is a separate piece. The striker column, rather, since it's not really assembled. But looks like we are coming up on 2 hours at 1 hour 59 minutes and 45 seconds now since I started recording. And I've got the 3 components I need. I'm just going to have to print them and make sure they fit together. So, just one more thing I'm going to do. Just for the hell of it, just to make sure everything is good. I'm going to put this together and see what it looks like. Oh, I forgot I was going to put some fins on the body. I'll have to do that. So, looks kind of like a torpedo. Now, yeah, I do need the fins. I need 2 squares for this. But this should be relatively easy. Okay, so once again, 38. 38.05. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Whatever. Sometimes these fluctuations do show up, and I have no idea what causes them. As the rough measure, I had forgotten, I didn't write this down. 63, I think it's 65. I can shorten it a bit, I guess. Let me go with 60 for now. 58. Excellent. Let me move you out of the way. Actually, you know what? Let me use you. It's just brain freeze. Forgot what I was going to do. Okay. Thickness of 2. It's eyeballing it. I really should know better than to do that, but what the hell. Okay, and the off-center is 91.6. Clone. Okay, now we can just move this. That's going to be easier. How is that joint? Okay. That looks good. Okay. I cloned you. Okay, no, I know what to do. 10.47. I can use a normal one. Okay, so let's play with this a little bit and let's make this 77. Okay, good. Now what we are going to do is 16.80. Okay, looks like we're good. Now I've got those fins. Oh, really? And here we go. It really does look like a little torpedo. I like it. And with the fins, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Now, we've got to print it and see what happens. Well, that's how I make stuff using Creality Print 5.0. The slicer program. Have a good day.